this month? Ah, okay.
Let's
Do
take
we...
two. Let's go from the top. After all that,
Another trial run.
it's Mercury retrograde. That's what we're
Yes,
dealing
I
with.
know. It's
All right,
crazy
let's
times.
pretend none of that just happened and let's make it happen again. We're live. Happy Friday. Harmony healing time, which we desperately need right now. Geraldine is here. Let's get her to reintroduce herself, her show, and what's up.
Right. Well, thank you, Nicole. And a really big hello to everyone listening to today's show. I'm so glad to be here with everyone and to share some of my thoughts. And I'm sure many people will have been thinking the same thoughts as me, and to bring in some visualizations which might be helpful, I hope, and supportive in these difficult times of transition. My theme today is all about supporting our sensitive nervous system, which is really under pressure this month, and it's obviously ongoing into March and beyond. And I'll also bring in the divine feminine qualities of compassion, intuition, and oneness with all that is, especially as they relate to the Ascended Masters, Kuan Yin, and the Virgin Mary, who is often also called Mother Mary. So, how is everyone feeling? And before we start properly, um, I had recorded a little video of a blackbird. It was only a short video. You'll find it on my YouTube channel, Geraldine Lohman at Geraldine Lohman, of a blackbird singing. And his song, or her song, I don't know obviously which was which, was absolutely amazing. It was just so full of joy and vibrancy and full of life. And if you can catch that bird song, I'm sure it would lift your spirits. So do go and listen to it. It's only for a minute, but you can sort of tune into it every now and again when you feel you need to tap into Mother Nature and hear that beautiful blackbird singing. So it was the call of him to his or her partner as they react to the call of nature to pair up and create new life. And that's what spring is all about, isn't it? After the dreary months that we've been through, been absolutely awful in the UK, we've hardly had a day without rain. I don't know if you've had much snow in Vancouver. Is the
None this
weather
year.
been okay? Not this year, so not too bad then.
Not too bad.
Not too bad. Um, but just tune into the bird song, see how it makes you feel. You could put your hand on your heart to capture the emotions that you're feeling. Anyway, it really brings us back to Mother Nature, and you can really feel the joy in the blackbird's call. Its purity and love for living and for life itself. So, what a great way to start the day if you can catch that. And it's also, you probably know this one, also expressed wonderfully in a song that Cat Stevens, now known as Yusuf Islam, sings, and it's often sung in church. I expect you can guess what it is, perhaps. Anything to do with blackbirds? Any ideas, anyone? Well, anyway, it goes like this. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing straight from the ground. Isn't that lovely? Honestly, not my singing, obviously, but the actual
Lovely.
words there, it really makes you feel glad to be alive. So it's such a comforting song or hymn of praise to God or source or nature, however you like to call that huge energy which has created us all. And it reminds us of how grateful we are for waking up to another day on our beautiful planet and to start the day in a joyful, calm way before the chaos of our daily lives begin. And this reminds me also of a recent show of mine when I suggested to say the words rise and shine as soon as you put your foot out of bed. Um, and so holding gratitude, all the spiritual teachers say this, don't they? It's one thing that we really must do is hold gratitude within us, really feel it. And it's another way of being gentle with your nervous system. And it's so important to prioritize this now, as it helps to prepare our four bodies for all the shocks and revelations of really truly dark deeds from those who seemingly have no moral compass. You know what I mean, and appear to have lost their souls. So, what I keep hearing in my head at the moment is stay in the light. And it's quite a fierce sort of voice that comes in. Stay in the light. It's so easy, isn't it, to keep trolling down the sites on social media to hear about the latest revelation.
Mm.
And in a way, that can actually numb you to the sense of the sheer horror of what has been happening, and obviously is still happening in certain circles of powerful people. And that can lead you into the world of glamour, and it can numb you and make it seem okay almost because you're just so used to hearing it. It makes you just feel okay, it's okay because so many people are involved and have been involved. So that's quite a tricky thing to maneuver, actually, um, to get trapped into that just feeding all the darkness. So stay in the light, keep to your own truth, your own integrity, your own values. You can't avoid catching the general gist of what's going on and what has happened and is happening, but avoid going down too deep down those rabbit holes, as it only feeds, as I just said, the dark energies. And we need to work hard on keeping our frequency as high as we can to help uplift the energy of everyone on the planet. And everything, of course, animals, birds, all the creatures, trees, plants, they're all sensitive to everything in the frequencies going around the planet. So this doesn't mean, of course, that we're condoning or agreeing to the truly wicked actions, and it's important not to be a passive witness. So if the opportunity arrives and you're a light worker whose role it is to be more active on the front, then obviously that is your role in actually what can we say? Not to be a passive witness, but to be more active and taking practical actions which are important to establish the higher dimensions to come through. Because it's crunch time now, isn't it? Fine words and thoughts and sending love and light out, although it's good, really just won't do, I don't think, anymore. Um,
Yeah.
so here now, anyway, is a short visualization to help calm our four bodies. So make yourself comfortable. Lessen any tension around your neck, your shoulders. That's where I've got a lot of mine at the moment. Your tummy and back. And take some lovely breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. We'll just do another one in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we better do a third one. So in through the nose and out through the mouth. And as you do so, just sense any tension drifting away. Now focus on the space about 1/2 meter beneath the soles of your feet and start to connect your Earth Star chakra and see that center start to gleam and shine bright platinum color. See its glow grow bigger and bigger and spread its energy all around to the Lee lines nearby and also going further in towards the center to connect with the heart of Mother Earth. So now you are connected and you can sense it completely. You know you are at one with Mother Earth and all her goodness. So now, with hands on your heart, sense your guardian angel's wings again wrapping around you, bringing you such a sense of comfort and stillness and the warmth from your angel's love for you. And we now ask Spirit for the following, saying the words out loud to bring comfort to our 4 bodies. And we say each statement 3 times. Gently caress my emotional body with tender, loving care. Gently caress my emotional body with tender, loving care. Gently caress my emotional body with tender, loving care. Gently caress my mental body, you may prefer psychological body, with tender, loving care. Gently caress my mental body with tender, loving care. Gently caress my mental body with tender, loving care. Gently caress my physical body with tender, loving care. Gently caress my physical body with tender, loving care. Gently caress my physical body with tender, loving care. Gently caress my energetic body, you may prefer spiritual body, with tender, loving care. Gently caress my energetic body with tender, loving care. Gently caress my energetic body with tender, loving care. Now, thank your angel for their love and return to your normal sitting position. This little sequence came through to me, and it's also showing appreciation for your 4 bodies and gratitude for having this opportunity to discover new things, learn new things in your soul's progression, and to realize how exciting each moment can be, especially if we follow our passion, as Darryl Anker, who channels Bashar, often reminds us. And he says to follow it as far as it can take you with no expectation. And in that way, of course, you don't put any onus upon you and it becomes truly joyful. So the third video that I was going to play, we'll obviously skip, and we'll actually come back to that another day and talk about it. So I'm going to move on to something else. So just thinking about the energies we're living through at this moment in time, a couple of people that I follow on Facebook and Instagram, who you might also follow, are Alexander Quinn and Pam Gregory. Now, they closely relate details about their knowledge of astronomy. And it's been so interesting because both of them show that we're currently in the middle of the 14-day bridge between the solar eclipse, which happened on the 17th this month, and the lunar eclipse. Well, we're more than halfway through, aren't we? because we're nearly there. On the 3rd of March will be the lunar eclipse. And we also have the 6 planet alignments on the 28th, which of course is tomorrow. And this involves Mercury, the planets Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. This alignment is bringing out any issues, because we're already in that energy, you see, to change for you to be able to move more easily into higher frequencies. The lunar eclipse will illuminate emotional truths, both personal and collectively on the world stage, which helps to explain why things are feeling so intense. And some of us may well be experiencing a sense of great vibrational change, questioning jobs or relationships, or wanting to declutter or simplify, perhaps review finances, and probably longing for change and peace, both at the same time, which more or less is impossible, isn't it? And that leads to that horrible state of feeling irritable all the time and a sense of inertia. So we're really having to deal with an awful lot of very difficult, awkward energies, but it's all good. Just remember that it's all good, because it does show that things are happening and will happen. So stay in the light. Now, perhaps you have been having some of these physical and emotional symptoms, such as racing thoughts, sudden anxiety, headaches, backache, feeling suddenly tearful. I've had that over the past few weeks. You think, where's that come from? Could be the slightest thing that sets you off. If you feel tired, it just means your nervous system is integrating. And if your emotions feel very raw, then it's because deeper truths are surfacing, both on a personal level, but also on a collective level for us all, as things are unfolding and being revealed. So this is why we need to look after our nervous system, which is the vagus nerve. Um, Here are a few ideas to help you calm your nervous system. Well, an easy one to do is humming for 5 minutes. It really does help to soothe the vagus nerve quickly. So that's so easy, isn't it? So you could hum that song we've just gone through. But can you see how it immediately kind of calms your nervous system, and it focuses your intention on what you're doing? And that's such an easy thing to do, isn't it? But if you do it for 5 minutes, that's even better, obviously. It would really, really calm you down. You could also do the Om sound, and I don't know who put it on one of the channels, but some say it should really be UM, not OM, which is if you practice it, it's a much deeper sound. Similar, if you've ever heard monks, the Buddhist monks, they have a really deep sound, like a It's like a drum almost. And that is incredibly calming as well. Um, you could try left nostril breathing. So if you cover your right nostril now, just take a breath in through the left nostril and then breathe out. And again. And breathe out. and again. So, in a dynamic way, that engages your parasympathetic state, and that's is certainly calming. If you um, chew gum, you could chew gum slowly and mindfully, or at a mealtime, you could chew your food more slowly, because this communicates to lower your lower sacra centers, chakra centers, um, to that need for safety and security. So chewing food or chewing gum slowly and mindfully really does help to settle um, that sort of fight or flight state of being. Another thing you could do is splash cold water on your wrists. And something we can try now as well is massaging behind the ears. Have a go at massaging behind your ears. That really eases cranial nerve tension. Can you feel that now if you're having a go? Can you feel how that really does help? Um, and of course, alternate nostril breathing, very helpful for balancing the nervous system. So let's try closing off your left nostril this time, and let's breathe in through the right and out. And now you're breathing in through the left. And again, breathe in through the right. And breathe in through the left. So that is so helpful for balancing the nervous system. Another thing to do if you clench your jaw is to stretch gentle jaw stretches. If you're watching me, I'm making a right funny face, but that's what you have to do. Just stretch your jaw out, and that will really reduce tension in your face. And of course, one that I guess most people know nowadays, in fact, you will know most of what I've just said, I expect, is walking barefoot on the grass. This really does ground the electrical charge in the body, and that's the quickest way of really helping your nervous system. But of course, just really being in nature is, and it's free, just be in nature, just as everything else I've suggested is free, and be in the stillness of the moment. So that's another good one, isn't it? Just be still. How difficult is that nowadays? To just be still and in the moment. We live so much time thinking about things in the past, especially now if you thought your shadow work was done, but it's still coming up a bit. And then perhaps, looking forwards to the future. Just be still and be in the moment. Lovely, quiet stillness and calmness. And that will really help you a lot. So if you practice stillness in nature, in that way, you'll be really aware of all your senses coming alive. All the sounds around you will be really, probably much louder than you ever imagine. The scents in the air will seem even sweeter, or the opposite, of course. Truly seeing the beauty of nature all around you and just being in that moment. If it's difficult for you to physically do this, well, it's easy to capture these sensations of feeling as alive as you can possibly feel by awakening your imagination. Perhaps remembering a scene of beauty and bringing it to life again within you. You can easily take yourself back there with practice. So your imagination is your creative spark. It's your contact with Source or God. And we'll go more perhaps next month into um, getting in touch with creativity. So I think what we should also do now is to bring in the divine feminine that helps support us. So we'll look at the energy centers of the higher heart today, mainly. Um, I don't think we will touch upon, I had thought of looking at the throat, third eye and soul star center, but perhaps next time. So today we're really concentrating on the higher heart. And with us will be the divine presence of Kuan Yin and the Virgin Mary or Mother Mary. And we'll do a longer visualization towards the end of today's show to help with connecting to their qualities of compassion and to a sense of unity consciousness. So now let's have a look at the higher heart center. Relatively new, perhaps, to many people. You may not have heard about this vital connecting center as it connects the heart and throat centers, and it's also where the thymus is. This energy center is a transmitter which sends signals to other parts of you that then act accordingly by either becoming stronger or weaker. So try to be careful about what you speak and say to your body, as actions will manifest from your thoughts. As a colour therapist, I suggest using jade, beautiful colour jade, as the bridge between heart and throat, as it will help heal all those times you perhaps haven't been heard or can't find your voice. For the higher heart, as a receiver, allows you to open up and act like a portal to receive light into your body, activating and reprogramming damaged cells and DNA. Jade energy is of a very high vibration. You can use it in times of wellness, of course, to prevent illness if there's flu around, perhaps, and as a tonic when unwell. So it's good for immune disorders such as flu, colds, and to use for protection when travelling on public transport, and for spiritual protection generally. To help boost this centre, wear turquoise or jade or green blues. Now today I've got my necklace with turquoise stone. I've got my turquoise earrings on. I'm wearing a jade coloured jumper and my scarf is a mixture of blues, different shades of blues. So I'm well prepared for today's show. And it's actually a favourite colour of mine, particularly turquoise because that's a bit brighter, isn't it, than jade. But jade is beautiful, really is beautiful. So to help boost this centre, wear turquoise or jade or green blues, and you can place turquoise stones, jade or lapis lazuli on your higher heart centre. If you have a similar crystal with you today, you could get it ready for use with the visualization that we'll be doing later on. Now, practical exercises to help with opening up your higher heart chakra includes the following. Something I've had to learn is this one: maintaining clear boundaries every day. And I'm still not particularly good at that one sometimes. Not overcoming to too many things. How are you with that one, Nicole? Do you overcommit sometimes, or I expect you're well used to managing. You've had to manage so much, haven't you? My goodness. Singing loudly or chanting. expressing your heart's desire by perhaps writing a letter to yourself or someone else, thinking about what you really love to do. So open your heart and allow yourself to feel. You could write a list of 20 things that bring you joy and then start doing them. A bit like having a bucket list without pressurizing yourself with deadlines. You could simply place both hands on the higher heart area like we've just done and allow the healing energy to be absorbed inwardly. Interestingly, coughing is a good one because that helps clear viruses. I know you can't help it if you have a chesty cough, but it importantly, it does release old negative energy. A bit like having a cold is actually good for detoxing you. So coughing is good. Being in water, of course. Water is wonderful, isn't it? Remember to bless your water at the start of each day. It's difficult to remember each time you drink water, but if you remember to bless it at the start of the day and say, please bless it for the rest of the day, that would be really good. But being in water, if you're on holiday, somewhere nice, the sun is shining, the sea is warm and welcoming, just put your head under the water and just feel that turquoise light energy envelop you. That is really wonderful. Now, what a dream and magical moment it would be if you had the opportunity to swim with the whales and dolphins. That would certainly open your higher heart. How many of these things have you already tried? Did you notice how it made you feel? Did it release anything? See how many of those exercises appeal to you to do. Now, before we go into the visualization, let's see what the Bodhisattva Kuan Yin represents. You may not have heard much about her. She is known as the goddess of mercy, thanks to the love, compassion, and wisdom that she demonstrated in her immensely long 2,000-year incarnation in China. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Interestingly, actually, as well, she began her life journey in masculine form. Then, at roughly the midway point in that incarnation, she took on the feminine qualities because she developed, this is me saying this, because she developed the feminine qualities of empathy and intuition to such an extent that she took on her feminine body. And during her long incarnation, she chose to stay on Earth in a physical body to assist humanity, though she had learned to be multi-dimensional. She lived actually in the 7th dimension. Quite difficult to get your head around these different dimensions sometimes, but obviously very, very high, where you would just live as a spirit, wouldn't you? You wouldn't have human form. But she could lower her frequency to the 5th dimension, where she could maintain her physical body on Earth and not need food except for fruit and vegetables. Kuan Yin is regarded as the Eastern equivalent of Mother Mary, and her current service for Earth, she's still very active, is to help bring the divine feminine into the consciousness of humanity. So in this way, she helps empower women, and her influence can be felt in many women's organizations. And she also works within highly masculine environments, such as prisons, helping men become more in touch with their feminine side. I recently came across a pendant which I feel sure, holds the image of Kuan Yin. So I couldn't resist buying it. It was hardly cost any money at all. So I just hold it up there. You might not be able to see it. It needs a black background, really. This is, for people watching my video on the YouTube channel. So I'm quite sure that is a representation of Kuan Yin. So obviously I was drawn to it and I thought I'd bring it to show people today. And for anybody watching the video of this show on my YouTube channel, as I've just said, so I no need to repeat this really, you can see me holding it up to the camera. Now also with us in our visualization is Mother Mary or the Virgin Mary, another goddess or ascended master who symbolizes compassion. Mary is a great initiate who gave virgin birth to Jesus or Yeshua and is often compared to Isis giving virgin birth to Horus. Well, what a strange concept it is, isn't it? That concept of virgin birth. It's quite a difficult one for us to get our heads around and really comprehend it until your frequency rises up to the upper levels of the fifth dimension. That is how it is possible. This is according to Diana Cooper in her book, The Archangel Guide to Mastery and Enlightenment. Apparently, at this level, you then know that each incarnating soul or conception is both part physical and part spiritual. So, in certain cases where a female has accepted to the creating of a new body for an incoming soul, and she is of a very high and pure frequency, the spiritual then is able to transcend the limitations of the physical act. Now, I know this takes a lot to get your head around, but I think I can just about begin to understand the concept of virgin birth, which is obviously an extremely rare event. There are many stories of Mother Mary appearing on earth to give encouragement and healing to people in pain, and the sacred sites at Lourdes in France and Fatima in Portugal bring many people asking for help. And many miracles have been reported and many sightings of her appearing. It's interesting how these appearances are always in the first place, in the first instance, are always to innocent children or innocent adults, perhaps often of an uneducated class, who haven't been tainted by the law of the world of glamour and riches. Well, last summer I was lucky to visit the small Greek island of Kos, and whilst there, visited the even smaller island of Naziros. It had a tiny monastery at the top of a small hill, built into a cave, and was founded in memory of a visitation by the Virgin Mary. It is a beautiful, tiny monastery with amazing views over the extremely beautiful azure blue sky, sea and sky, actually, blue sea and sky. It was quite a tough climb up the 130 steps, but yes, it was worth the effort. The church inside the cave of the hill is full of icons, and of course the miraculous icon of the Virgin Mary, to whom many miracles by villagers and others, people come from all over the world, go there to ask for miracles to happen. And this is where our visualization will be today. So we're going to be going into our main visualization now. So just make yourselves comfortable again, loosening any tension again held around your neck, your shoulders, your back and tummy areas. And again, we'll start to take some deep breaths in through the nose and release slowly out through the mouth. And as you do so, as you breathe in and release the breath out, feel and know that you're bringing in the Christ consciousness, light and love, which will be filling all the centers and cells of your body. So let's take those breaths in now. Lovely deep breath in and out. Light and love coming in. Another breath in and out. And really focusing now on your higher heart chakra. Lovely deep breath in and out. So bringing your attention now to your higher heart chakra. Remember, it's that area, it's quite a tender area, just between your heart and your throat chakra. Just feel that soft center there. It's quite a tender place. So bring your attention to your higher heart chakra and flood that center with a glorious deep jade color. Remember, if you're good at this and do see colors, it's a lovely bluey green color. But any shade of blue will do as well. Just see if you can bring that lovely color into your higher heart. And as you do so, feel that calm blue-green infuse you with a sense of being with all that is, and that very deep connection to Source or God and the divine nature within you, because you are divine as well. We stay in this wonderful jade infusion for a few seconds, just allowing it to wash over you. So hold on to that lovely jade going into your higher heart. Now, because we have to ground ourselves, bring your focus down to the soles of your feet and bring the energy down underneath to your Earth Star chakra so that you're feeling grounded and part of Mother Earth. And we find ourselves now in quite a different scene because we find ourselves stepping from a boat which has brought us to a very small island called Naziros. It's the beginning of spring, as it is here today in the Northern Hemisphere. Spring is definitely sprung in the UK. Trees are bursting out, pollen is coming out if you've got hay fever, and there's a freshness in the air. And as you step off the boat, as I say, feel that freshness in the air, bringing with it a touch of salt. Perhaps you can taste that salt in the air around your mouth. Salt is again such a healing quality. Salt is really good for us, especially sea salt. From the boat, you can see that at the top of a hill is a small monastery. It shines out as it's so stunning with its brilliant painted white and sky blue walls and roof. Yes, this is the place to head for. You just know that some sort of magic must belong there. So finding a path that leads around the winding, narrow streets, which are so colourful with flowers still blooming from the summer, beautiful pinks, Shades of yellows, purples, orange, and white. So very vibrant and full of life. And now we come to the start of many steps. The sign tells you there are 130. Not to be put off as the steps wind round the hill. We stop and pause, look over at the viewing points as we wind round the steps leading up. Just look at the sea, glistening, gleaming, and sparkling, turquoise in the spring sunshine. Now that is magic in itself. That sunshine, those beautiful blues, all the sparkling light. Just pause here as we catch our breath and breathe in all the goodness from this scene. Let's just imagine that scene vividly now, filling you with gladness and joy. And at last we reach the summit and find a small enclosure with a welcoming bench. It's so well looked after. The monks look after their monastery absolutely beautifully. There's planted areas, and of course, alongside that, we now have a great sense of expectation. I wonder what we'll find inside the church. You can sense and just know that this is a special and sacred place that you're about to enter, and is treasured by all that live and work here and by all its visitors. So you enter the monastery. Its cool, dark interior entices you in, and you feel quite overwhelmed because of the darkness. Your eyes adjust, and then you can see, as they get used to the light, the enormous amount of statues and ornaments and silver and gold and precious stones and all bright colours which adorn the statues. And now you come in front of the silver statue of the Virgin Mary. Of course, it had to be of silver, as silver represents the moon and the divine feminine. We stay in front of the statue, deep in our own thoughts. What springs to your mind? What do you want support or help with from Mother Mary? How do you think her love can help you in your life? Pause here with your thoughts. Dip into your heart and higher heart. Just see what comes into your mind. You then become aware of a pulsing ball of light coming from the statue. It's very powerful, and you find yourself standing within this ball of aquamarine and gold light. You can feel the high frequency envelop you. Just feel that. Feel that energy working on you, healing you, strengthening you, bringing you her wisdom, and it lights you up with her higher qualities. Pause again now, for this is such a powerful moment with such powerful energy. So let's absorb the energies into our heart and higher heart centers. Keep breathing gently and be still in this beautiful moment. So we'll pause here a while. Breathing gently, absorbing the energies, all that love. Feel the compassion. It's quite truly wonderful. Mother Mary's light and energy now gradually withdraws from you, and you give thanks to her for this wonderful moment full of love and grace. And now be aware that the goddess of mercy and compassion, Kuan Yin, has entered this sacred space and appears to be in front of you in her huge, radiant and flowing energy body of magenta, white, gold, and diamond light. As you start to absorb her glorious light, feel Kuan Yin's energy working on you, healing you, strengthening you, bringing you wisdom, empowering you, and lighting you up with her higher qualities. And again, just take your time to absorb these energies and keep breathing steadily in the moment. So pause here and see what wisdom she's bringing to you to help you with. Search your heart to see how it resonates with your truth and your inner wisdom. So again, Kuan Yin now gradually draws away from you and leaves you feeling in a state of bliss, joy, calm, and of course, gratitude. You give her thanks for being with you, and you know now that you can call on both Mother Mary and Kuan Yin if you're in need of their support. They will strengthen and empower you, and you will feel their love and light around you. So you gradually come back to the present moment, feeling a sense of empowerment, knowing that you can do anything that you need to for the highest good. So I hope you've enjoyed those visualizations today and a bit of practical advice, I guess. And to remember to have and hold that sense of gratitude in your hearts. So I believe that is the end of the show, isn't it? Um,
It is indeed. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that just zipped by. I was just enjoying the flow. Once we
oh,
got
good.
going, it was all lovely. But let's do some shameless self promotion before we
Oh,
close
right.
things up.
Okay, right. Thank you. Um, well, I'll just be saying the same things really. But for new people new to the show, I'm Jerry Lohman, and I've many years, being an old person and an old soul, a varied experience, including supporting young people when I worked as a teacher, and also supporting adults learning English, helping ethnic minorities integrate into our society. So I've helped adults of all ages and backgrounds who found themselves homeless, who obviously through often no fault of their own. And the past 10 years, I've been working with clients referred to me from social prescribers. Um, that's how it is in the UK. We have social prescribers attached to doctors' surgeries who feel that that person might need just to chat through things, to have a bit of support. And then obviously, once you get to know people, you will find that most people do enjoy exploring spiritual matters, especially the more depressed and darker moments you go through. That seems to be where obviously you start to think along spiritual lines. So I've always been interested in spiritual matters, and I've studied many, many years with the Arcane School, delving deep into esoteric spiritual knowledge, and I use all this experience in my work as a colour healing, Reiki, and neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. I think what I mainly do really is listen properly to people who've never properly been listened to. And if nothing else, that seems to be what a lot of people do need. Now, if you want to get in touch with me for help, we can obviously work on Zoom, and I could create a special visualization for you to keep, which would suit your needs, and it would cost about £45 depending on our initial talk. And you can find me on my email, and so lowercase Gera Gerra _Lohman LOWMAN at yahoo.co.uk, and my website is www.geraldinelohman.com. And so I send everyone blessings, light, and love, and enjoy
Beautiful.
the rest of your day.
You too. Thanks, Jerry, for being here. We got
Okay.
to fly into our next show within
Yes, yeah,
seconds.
right. It took longer than I
We
thought.
went
Sorry.
dangerously long, but it was all good. All right.
Okay.
Take
Thank you.
care.
Bye
Talk
bye.
again
And
soon.
you. Bye bye.
That is Geraldine, all linked up at newsforthesoul.com. Next up, and I think we're just letting her right in the room here because we went long. So I might not even do the little interlude thing. We'll just kind of dive in because Lila's here, and Whole Heart Healing Academy is her thing, and it is Heart Wall Clearing Day. Yay! Again, another one that was rescheduled from earlier because of this month's craziness and weird energies and all that stuff. And she's here now, God willing. Lila, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can. Sounding great,
Yeah.
loud and clear. Let's get you
Yeah.
to reintroduce yourself, the show, and what's up.
Yeah. Well, my name is Lila Solnick, and my business is Whole Heart Alchemy at Academy, but everybody does that, so that's all right. Yeah, if I had an academy, I'd be teaching a lot of people. And what I do specifically on this show is release heart walls. And nearly every adult has a heart wall. Some children do as well, and those are formed by experiences in our lives which are painful. And each time we have a painful experience, we add and we don't process the emotion, the pain properly. It gets stuck in our bodies. And if it's related to, anything to do with love, or even not even love, it can just be anything. Yeah, we start forming a heart wall. Just a protective measure your body does. But when you have that protective measure, not only does it keep things from hurting you, it keeps you separated from anything good coming in and from expressing your own love and compassion. So, as we have started finding out, separation, that an inability to express love and receive love is actually damaging to us. So, what I do is release heart walls to help you feel better, to help you. If romance is your thing, that's there. It's there. If it's abundance, this can help with abundance. This can help with all kinds of stuff in your lives. So, I mean, that's what this show is about. And it's been an interesting month. I heard you say something about that. The times we're in have been really interesting, and um, I've had some interesting things happen to me where I'm releasing old energies, and it was actually quite painful, but you know what? It was worth it, and I would do it again.
I think everyone's going through something like that. Everyone I know, anyway, including myself. But can you talk about that some more? Share some more?
Oh, sure. This was really more of a physical. This was, well, okay. And we would have said somebody could have described this as being sick with a flu, but that's not what this was. Um, this was my body's need and effort to release old traumas and energies that were trapped in my body. So the way it felt was I had a lot of pain, and especially when I was laying down, interestingly, I could not sleep. But I would feel cold waves going through my body and releasing. And then I do remember one point where at the same time of that I was going through this physical experience, my bathroom floor was being repaired and replaced. So there was no peace from that, but it had to happen. Anyway, at one point during the process, I decided I couldn't sleep. I couldn't lay down. I just had to get up and do something. And even though I was exhausted, and I went into the bathroom and cleared out some drawers with like 30 years worth of stuff. At least some of it was that old for sure. And really, what that ended up being was part of the purging that I was doing, because the whole thing here was the invitation to let go of old ways of being, let go of history, and ways of doing things that were keeping me stuck. I suppose I could use that word. So, as an example, um, I'm going through my healing, my own healing experience. My body is catching up to where I am emotionally, but it's like pushing through the mud. And part of that pushing, I should say, is it's not really pushing, but it's like, you're trying to get somewhere and you're slowed down because of all the stuck, all the dross, all the stuck, gooey stuff. And things I had to let go of were like, seeing, okay, so there's a practitioner I have been seeing 3 times a week. He does manual lymphatic drainage because I have lymphedema. But because I've been doing it so long, my body was now not in a place to do this on its own. So letting go of seeing him as frequently, actually, I could feel the relief that my body would experience and releasing the energy around that so that it will actually start doing this on its own. It'll start, releasing on its own. And so far, I have limited what I've seen, how often I've seen them. And so far, I haven't gained any weight, which is okay. Because for me, weight gain is water gain, it's not fat. And there are other things that have been doing that have kept me um, stuck, really. And it's just letting go of the old way of doing things. It's letting go of how I perceived how I perceive my body and my history, and being open to new ways and new possibilities. And I know we are capable of healing. Our bodies can absolutely heal. I mean, you look at Dr. Joe, right? He's teaching people how to do that. I mean Dr. Joe Dispenza. Um, there are probably other Dr. Joes out there doing great stuff. So we know we can do this, and it's all based with energy and releasing old patterns, old behaviors. And this was a massive deal for me. It really was, because the first day I felt better, which was Sunday, okay, so it's like 2 weeks ago already. Um, I woke up and I had this really strong connection with my higher knowing. So, you can say higher self, or I don't know, other words that people use. I use higher knowing because higher self sort of feels like separation between me and that part of me that knows everything. And I was hearing, and I still do hear information immediately. It's like if there's something important, I'll hear no or yes, or, you know, I'll hear something around that. So that was like, wow. Hearing hearing guidance immediately is profoundly powerful, because I have been doing that, looking to my higher knowing for about a year, maybe a little less, um, and surrendering to that knowing regardless of what it was telling me. So in the sense of, um, let's say, an example, like on Wednesday, I saw my practitioner who does the manual phatic drainage, and I always have a Friday appointment. And I asked, you know, do I need to come in on Friday? I got immediately a no. Whereas previously, my personality self would have really wanted to come in, and it just wouldn't have been appropriate. So now I'm relying on that all the time for any major decision, even small ones. It was kind of funny when I was choosing the flooring, And I was looking at the floor and the piece I decided to get, and I liked it. And then I asked my higher knowing, said, "Is this the right flooring?" And I got a no. And so I said, then I asked, "Do I have a sample of it?" I got a yes. So it turned out to be, I think it did turn out to be a better choice. It's like, it's really kind of funny how we can I don't even know why my higher knowing had a say in it or wanted a say, but it did. And I think it gave me good information. So it's interesting how personally I've become really available to being present in a different way. And this experience from 2 weeks ago is just like the latest part of it. And it's just constantly unfolding. And this all started pretty much with the release of my heart wall in 2020. I gotta say, that's the time I decided I was becoming an emotion code, body code, and belief code practitioner. Well, belief code wasn't there then, but that was when I decided I would do this. So you never know where anything is going to take you, and that's the cool thing about life. Hey, Nicole, you there? Okay, well, um, let's see what
Sorry,
else.
it took me a minute to get to my button there. Bear with me. I've got some stuff going on here. Um,
All right.
but that brings up a good point too. That that you mentioned that started when you cleared your heart wall. So, um, I mean, is that part of the deal as far as what can people expect when they start doing this work? And
All
how it
right.
shows
Yeah.
up because it can be misinterpreted as, oh, this didn't work or this is wrong,
Right.
right?
Right. And so, just so everyone knows, I read the book, The Emotion Code, in July, I think, or June of 2019. And I did start using it immediately, but I was not consistent. I would, release some of it and a couple months would go by and I'd release some more. I mean, at that point, I was still sort of fishing around for what might work for me and I didn't know. And, I've changed a lot since 2019 and 2020, as far as consistency in doing things. I don't know who I was. I don't remember the person I was back then, honestly. Um, so, but I used a gauge. The gauge I used for effectiveness was my ability to engage with Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations. And I remember, I think in July, yeah, there was a meditation, and I think it was the Global Coherence Meditation. I think they were in, oh, I think they were in Portland, Oregon. Be that as it may, I don't remember specifically, but that was one where there was a live stream. And so you could join and, have that experience. And I did. And it was really kind of, mm, disappointed because I didn't feel anything. And to put context to this, I had been doing his work, wow, okay, since, oh God, 2019. Okay, so I'll say the beginning of 2019, doing meditations, but not feeling anything. And if you're familiar with the meditations, part of it is okay, you put the thought out there, and that's the thing that's calling to you what you want. But you need the emotion to draw it to you. The emotion is the magnetism. It's that thing that'll bring it to you. I couldn't feel that. So I knew that there was something off. And so I had been looking for a way to enable myself to feel the emotions. And I tried several things, but somebody had suggested the emotion code, and I bought the book and started releasing my heart wall. So I did several sessions, I think, that summer. And in September, there was another live stream, and I think it was from Niagara Falls. Anyway, so that particular meditation was based on his mm, blessing of the energy centers, and this was number 8, which is a really powerful meditation. And the energy centers, of course, are the chakras. So it's bringing the energy in, and it's a beautiful meditate. All those blessing of the energy center meditations are beautiful. And so I did that meditation during the live stream, and I really felt something for the first time. It was like, oh my God. I was blown away by what I felt, and I hadn't yet released my heart wall. So fast forward, I mean, I think I might have done a few sessions, and then I stopped for some reason. I don't know why, but in uh, May of 2020, there was a webinar with Dr. Bradley Nelson, and he was teaching the emotion code in the webinar. And so I decided to do it. And throughout the whole program, he was calling for volunteers because he would demonstrate the emotion code on volunteers. And I kept putting my hand up in the morning, hoping he'd call on me so I could help release my heart. Well, he didn't. Um, but then he suggested that we work on it during the lunch break, that we practice. So I did. I said, well, okay, I'm here doing this. I'll release some more of my heart. Well, it turned out there were only 7 emotions left. And when I released the last emotion, oh my gosh, I really felt this. I felt different. My heart opened, and I'll use this. I'm not I'm not religious in any way, but it was like angels and trumpets. It really felt like that. And I said, "Oh boy, no one's going to touch me now." Like I would not have raised my hand for anything because I felt like I was in such a great place. And since then, my heart has become more and more open. Now, granted, it's a process. And right now, I can easily drop into my heart and feel emotions. And my heart actually is my connection to my higher knowing. So I can immediately tell, for something that, if I need information or something, it's there in my heart. But it did take a while to get to where I am today. So it's never going to, I won't say it's never going to be fast. Everybody's different. Everyone has their own experience. And for some people, it may be even faster than that. Um, One thing I do hear from my clients is that they do feel lighter after a session and a little more open. So, it's all variable, and there is no wrong answer here as far as what you're going to feel or how quickly it's going to happen. Um, Usually people will feel some of the emotions that were released, after the session. They may feel, well, let's say anger, and they don't know why they're feeling the anger. And usually that's just an echo of the emotion on its way out. So you can say, okay, I see you. I know I'm not responding to anything that's making me angry. And I always thank the emotions. Anything that I find that's blocking anything, it's like, thank you for providing protection, because that's really what it was doing. And it was doing its job, and now it's no longer needed and it's leaving. And you might feel it or not, you know? It's really hard to say what somebody's going to feel because it's really an individual experience. So, yeah. Um, I don't know. That's about it that I could think of as
All
far as,
right.
yeah.
It, the second part of that is being that it can show up as clearing out other quote unquote negative things, right?
Yes, exactly.
Which people don't expect sometimes.
Right. And, all the things that I've been going through for the last couple of years is uncomfortable, and it's the clearing out of old energy, like what happened 2 weeks ago. And, I've had a client who was purging like 20 minutes after session, and I don't think it was a
Oh,
hard session. I might have just been an emotion code session because it was early on, I think before body code. But she was aware enough that she knew what it was. She knew it was energy leaving. So here's the thing that I've been learning, certainly over the last 5 years, but even more recently, is that when our body is uncomfortable and there's pain, discomfort, fever, anything like that, it's usually a sign of something purging or detoxing. And that can be emotions, that can be trapped energies. It's not, and of course, it could also be toxins, it can be other things. it's not that you're sick. Our bodies really don't get sick. Our bodies have this innate intelligence and know how to heal themselves. And we generally get in the way because, well, we don't want to be uncomfortable. So if we have a headache, and that headache is related to a purge, we might go grab a pain pill for the headache, but that's actually defeating the purpose of the headache. Um, so what I've discovered personally is that I don't mind being uncomfortable for a short period of time, as long as as long as I know, okay, it's something that is leaving my body, and I need to give myself grace and time to let it go. That's not to say you don't go to the doctor. If something is wrong, if something is persistent, you need to find out what it is and perhaps get treatment. But it's more often than not, I think things like flu or colds, I think those are basically our body's way of adjusting to something in the environment. Whether it's your body's energies or responding to energy in the environment or to toxins in the environment. So it's not, you know, we've lost the ability to have discernment around this. Because I think about my mother, who we rarely went to the doctor for things like a cold or a flu. She would treat us and she would, support our systems, really is what she was doing, because she'd give us vitamin C and chicken soup and, things of that nature where, okay, and you stay home and you're in bed and let it go through. And I think we sort of lost that, with running to the doctor for something. But yeah, it can be uncomfortable. So be aware of that. But, you know, anything worthwhile is going to take a little, it's going to take a little bit of courage to go through it, I think. Um, yeah, so
Right. Well, it's a good thing to touch on that. Um, and we've got some emails here, requests for some clearings. Do you want to give the explanation on how this all works before we dive in?
absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I've already set an intention for everybody I'm going to work with today. And I call on angels and guides and helpers to, be present, and they are here now to help us release these energies. So what I will do is I'll need your age, and I will measure the heart wall thickness. And the heart wall thickness is just my subconscious way of identifying the process of it, the process and the release of it. So it gives me a way of understanding, okay, you know, how quickly somebody's releasing, how long it's going to take, that kind of thing. And my subconscious interprets it into hundreds of feet. Other people do inches. I've heard some people do miles. I don't know. And then what I will do is identify the emotions that are part of that wall and then start releasing them. And basically, at the end of the session, I will measure the heart wall thickness again, and it will have gone down. And, it's variable, depends how much just varies. There's no set number as far as I can tell. So basically that's it. And then when it's done, your heart wall will continue to go down on its own for a period of time. And so let's say I plan on being back in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks' time, if you were to tune in then, um, we could definitely carry on, and it will have gone down from today's ending. And if you are working on yourself, as in being aware of your emotions, being aware of your responses, meditating, being conscious of your energy, you will continue to release those things faster.
So the idea is to keep picking at it. You can come back in every time Lila's on and get another chunk of that puppy cleared out.
There we go.
Ta-da! All right.
Yep.
Let's dive in.
All right.
Um, all right. So we're going to Sally in the UK first. Sally in the UK. She's 49. I've
Okay. Okay.
actually got numbers today. You don't have to do the math.
Yes, thank you
I
for
got
that.
them trained.
I appreciate that. Okay, so Sally. All right, let me take a moment here to tune in. All right, got you, Sally. Yep. So the heart wall thickness. I see 600. 600 and what? Hmm. 656. I get a yes to that. All right, 656 feet thick. And there's no good or bad. It just is what it is. So the emotions. Okay, let's pick up those emotions now. All right, I hear heartache. And what I do is I hear the emotions in my head. There is also a chart. Anybody familiar with the emotion code knows that there's a chart of 60 emotions. And the way they teach us to do it is you can ask, is it on the left side? Is it column A or column B? Is it an odd row, even row? And then you go and, there are five emotions in each cell. So you'd narrow it down to the emotion. But for several years now, since my energy field has been open to receiving information in other ways, I just hear them for the most part. Periodically, I get a little stuck and I might do it the old way, but for the most part, I just hear them. Like right now, I hear grief and then releasing the emotion. Now, what I'm doing now is to expedite, doing this on the show to take as little time as possible. I will identify all of the emotions and then release them one at a time. Typically, when you do the emotion code, you find the emotion and release it. Um, Both work really well. And I actually do this with clients anyway. I find all the emotions of a particular area and then release them. So, okay, so I have heartache and grief, insecurity. Okay, I'm hearing the emotions. I better be present with Sally so I get all the emotions that we're allowed to release today. Okay, vulnerability, love and received, longing, overwhelmed, hopelessness. Okay, there's more. Anxiety, despair, guilt, and frustration, depression. There's more. Yes, there are more. Fear, unsupported, low self-esteem, unworthy. Are there any other trapped emotions? I get no. Okay, so there's a whole bunch here. And let's see. I'm going to start releasing these. Well, first I need to ask, this is why I need the age, right? Is there anything we need to know about these emotions? I get no. Sometimes the subconscious wants to reveal more information about the emotions. And usually the one thing we need to know is when that emotion was trapped. So in this case, I get a no, which means we're not going to investigate anymore. So I'm going to set the intention to release heartache, grief, insecurity, vulnerability, love unreceived, longing, overwhelm, hopelessness, anxiety, despair, guilt, frustration, depression, fear, unsupported, low self-esteem, and unworthy. Okay, there we go. Have they all been released? I get yes. All right, so now the heart wall thickness. It was 656. Okay, it's under 600 feet. It is 572. I get yes, 572 feet. Well, that's terrific. That was oops, I lost the 656. All right. 650. That was a terrific release, Sally. So there you go. And again, be mindful. You might feel some of these emotions as they're leaving your system. If you were seeing me as a practitioner on a regular basis, you would be able to do your next session in, let's say, 3 days. I get yes to that. Heart wall releases are not quite as intense, I find, as body code or belief code releases. So usually fewer days are required for processing and integration. So next few days you might feel something. And drink plenty of water because energy work is, you know, dehydrates you a little bit. So there you go, Sally. Come back next time and we can continue releasing some emotions. Oh, and one thing I want to add, actually, in general, is I started learning Reiki last year. And so my teacher recommended we get a Reiki bear or some stuffed animal for practicing on for distance Reiki. So I have this cute little teddy bear that I use now to release the emotions on. And
Oh,
I find that I actually feel even more compassion and love for my clients when I do this. It's like holding a little baby, right? And
no,
you're
I love
pet
that.
and I'm petting its back because with the emotion code, you release the trapped emotions on the governing meridian. But since I am working as proxy or surrogate, whatever, uh, for the client, it doesn't actually matter where the release is happening, what I'm doing, it's the intention. So I
Yes.
get to hold the bear and pet its back and its head. I'm like, it's so cute. So yeah, everyone's getting a little teddy bear.
No,
Really,
I love the visual. All
you're
right,
welcome.
let's go to Diana in New Zealand, and she is 53.
Hey, Diana.
Fun that we don't have to do the math. Half the other shows are all math.
Yep, 53. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm disconnected from Sally. Okay. Diana, there you are. Okay. Heartwall, Heartwall. Let's see. Heartwall. I'm seeing seven. Okay. Starts with seven. Is it 723? Okay. First I saw 713, but okay. 723. 723 feet. Okay. All right. Okay. The first thing I get is fear, frustration, depression, anger, guilt, resentment. There's more, there's more. Okay, effort unreceived. There's more. It's just it's slowed down a bit. Okay. Betrayal and abandonment. Okay, abandonment. There's more trapped emotions. Ah, okay. Taken for granted. Panic, bitterness, dread. So it's like a little, maybe because she's on the other side of the planet. I don't know. I'm just joking. Sometimes it slows down a bit. I'm like, okay, I know they're there. I can feel them and I get a yes when I ask. So, but I don't have to go do it the column way. I'm getting shame and unworthy. Something else? Is there one more? Is there one more? Two more. One more. Okay, so what is this one more? Oh gosh, heartache. Okay. Okay, there are no more trapped emotions. Is there anything we need to know about these? Nope. Okay, so I'm going to set the intention to release fear, frustration, depression, anger, guilt, resentment, effort unreceived, betrayal, abandonment, taken for granted, panic, bitterness, dread, shame, unworthy, and heartache. Okay, let's see. Have they all been released? I get yes. Okay, so 723 down to definitely under 700. I see 6, 5 something, right? No? 64. 649 feet. Wow, that's specific. Okay. There we go. It's that's done. All right, Diana. Pardon me. Again, you might feel some of these emotions come up. And if you do, let them know that, realize that they are on their way out and you can thank them. I do is I give these things love. Thank you so much for your service and, you know, send them away with love. That helps heal a lot of things. In fact, love heals all things. So we can always, use love. All right. So
Back to that, doesn't it? Lovely. Hmm. All right. Let's go next to here we got Sheila, California, 67.
Sheila, 67. Hey, she's 1959 like me. Okay, Sheila, let me make sure I am not connected to Diana. All right, Sheila. Gotcha. All right. Heart wall thickness. Okay, 800. No? 700? Okay. 700. Upper 700s, though. That's why. Okay. 91? No. 792. Okay. All right, Sheila. Let's see what we can find here. Okay, starting right off with anger, bitterness, frustration, guilt, and anger again. And that you can always have, well, I will always find multiples of the same emotion in a heart wall in general or in any clearing. And it's just different experiences of the same emotion at different times. And at those times, it wasn't appropriate to feel, release, express the anger. And it just gets trapped. So, I used to wonder, oh, I'm getting the same emotion. What's wrong with me? And what am I doing wrong? And it's nothing. It's absolutely 100% accurate. Okay, so we have anger again and resentment. I'm hearing terror. Okay, and fear and dread and humiliation and jealousy, worry, anxiety, Disgust. Okay. Helplessness or hope? Helplessness and hopelessness. Failure. Stubbornness. Self-abuse. Self-abuse is beating ourselves up. We got to stop doing that. Conflict. Are there any other trapped emotions? Okay, again, no. All right, is there anything we need to know about any of these emotions? Again, no. So I'm going to do is set the intention here. And on the little bear, Reiki bear, I'm going to set the intention to release anger, bitterness, frustration, guilt, anger again, resentment, terror, fear, dread, humiliation, jealousy, worry, anxiety, disgust, helplessness, hopelessness, failure, stubbornness, self-abuse, and conflict. Okay. Have they all been released? I get yes. This feels like a lot of energy was released here. Big, heavy things. Is that accurate? Yes, that's accurate. Okay, so what's the number here? Whoa, low 700. I'm seeing 701. That's terrific. Wow. That's a huge amount of energy you just let go of, Sheila. Drink lots of water. Give yourself time to decompress and don't get attached to any of these energies. They're on their way out. All right. Wow.
It's like a lot of big stuff moving today.
Well, that's the way it is right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Everybody's
has.
doing. All
Totally
right.
is. All right, let's go next to just keeping an eyeball on the time there. It goes so fast. Lorraine in Australia, and she is 59. Got a demographic going today.
You know, hey, Lorraine, let me make sure I've got Lorraine. Got Lorraine. Okay. So, Lorraine, where are you? What's your heart wall? 600s. Okay. Hmm. 643. All right, Lorraine, let's see what we got here. What are the trapped emotions for you today? We've got them. Fear, depression, frustration, worry, anxiety. What's the first burst? What's the next burst? Uh, these are hard emotions. Okay, insecurity, vulnerability, lost. Yeah, okay. And love unreceived. Um, ooh, okay. Hmm. Taken for granted. Okay. Lack of control. Yeah. Is there another worry? Because I heard it again, but it's not there. Okay. Shame, anger, hearing frustration again. unsupported. Okay, is there anything else are there any other heartful emotions we can find today? I get no. Anything we need to know about these? Nope. All right, I'm going to set the intention to release fear and depression, worry. Oops, let's skip frustration. Number one, and worry, anxiety, insecurity, vulnerability, lost, love unreceived, taken for granted, lack of control, shame, anger, frustration again, and unsupported. All right. So they all been released. I get yes. All right. So this heart wall is now under 600, correct? So 71. I get 571. All right. Very cool. More heart wall emotions released. Wow. So Lorraine, but it might be, she might be asleep.
Very cool indeed, though. Lots of
Yeah.
stuff moving. Let's keep the train rolling while we can. Going next to Ellen in Boston, and she is 77.
There's, I'm sort of cruising down my list here. I don't see, these are all new people. Okay. All right. So Ellen in Boston, let me see. I have you. Gotcha. Okay. Hartwell. 800s. 801. 86. 869. Yep. 869 feet. Right. Um, First thing I hear is dread and fear. Okay. Confusion, heartache, abandonment, forlorn. Okay, there's more. Despair, anxiety, worry, grief. I'm hearing a word that's not in the chart. Anguish. That happens sometimes. I do hear words that are, I mean, it's interesting that it happens. And I'm not the only one it happens to, apparently, which is nice to know. But I just go with what I'm told. I'll hear some strange things sometimes. Um, okay. Defensiveness, and discouragement, and rejection, and sadness, and crying. These are all lung emotions. Hopelessness, and there's one more, correct? Yes. Overwhelm. Are there any other heart-wall emotions? Nope. Anything we need to know about these? Nope. Okay, so I'm going to set the intention to release dread and fear, confusion, heartache, abandonment, forlorn, despair, anxiety, worry, grief, anguish, defensiveness, discouragement, rejection, sadness, crying, hopelessness, and overwhelm. Oh, it feels like a load off, right? Okay, they've all been released. Yes, they have. Also feels like this is going to be a big one. Okay, it's under seven. It's under 800, which is great. 7 1. I see 7 8 8 7. Wow, that's a tremendous loss. Wow. I mean, loss. Loss is probably the wrong word here. Release. Very good, Ellen. That's cool. I love it. All right. Well, anybody who's been doing this, make sure to drink plenty of water, get rest, allow those emotions to leave your body. Just let it go. Wow.
Well, there you go. We're just at the top 4 minutes, so we packed it in there, and lots of people let lots of stuff go. We need to
Yeah.
do some shameless self promotion though before you run off on us.
All right. Shameless self-promotion. So, my website is Whole Heart Alchemy, and I've searched myself, and you can just, even just putting my name and you'll find my website, which is pretty cool. Although I don't think there are many Lila Solics out there. Anyway, my website is Whole Heart Alchemy. You can find me there, and you can contact me if you want to do just chat for a bit to see if if we resonate, or if I resonate for you is really more what it is. And you want to work with me. I do more than emotion code. I also do body code, and I do belief code, both of which are very powerful modalities. And belief code is like my favorite one now. It's amazing, so amazing, because it gets into the belief systems that we carry around with us. And believe me, we all have massive belief systems that are just holding us back. So anyway, if you want to contact me directly, there is a contact page on the website, or the email is info@wholeheartalchemy.net. And yeah, I look forward to doing this again in 2 weeks. Hopefully I will be present. I can't, I don't plan on not being present. So it's like it's my intention is to be here, but who knows what the universe has in store for all of us in 2 weeks.
Especially these days. So we got to just roll with it. But, that's kind of how we're dealing with it over here is just kind of be in the moment and just
Exactly.
tiptoe around and we'll get there. So
Yeah,
it's all good.
it is all good. It is what it is. And you know what? The world is getting better. If anybody feels really, looks dark out there, but it really is not, what you're seeing is the crumbling of
All the
the
dark that was already there.
yeah, and we're seeing it, which is great. So when you see it, thank it for being there, because it woke you up, and it's being let go of, and we're getting to a better place in this world. We are. Yep.
Yay.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all good.
Well, that's fantastic news. What's going on here? We've got an echo. Echo, echo. There we go.
Yes, you do get to go in here.
We did. But yeah, today was perfect. And what better things could we be doing today than clearing out the crap? So thank you
That's
for
right.
being here. And let's hold the space that a couple of weeks' time we'll do it again.
You betcha. All right, I'll see you later. Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, Lila. Lila's all linked up at newsforthesoul.com. You can email your requests in, just to include your name, where you're from, and age, so we don't have to do the math. And that saved buckets of time today. And then, on the air at tellus.net. That's tellus with one L. On the air at tellus.net. Send us your requests. We'll get you on for next time. In the meantime, we're on for a little break, and then we'll be back with more. Go to newsforthesoul.com to find out all about it.